All right, so you're here with us on the deep dive because, well, let's face it, you want to know what's coming next. And you want to know it fast.
Exactly.
Especially if you're keeping an eye on the beauty industry right now.
Oh, absolutely. It's moving so fast.
Warp speed.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And look, I get it. Nobody has time to be reading a million articles and reports, right?
No, you need it, like, right now.
So that's why we're doing this deep dive. We're going to hand you the goods specifically on how generative AI, this cutting-edge tech is about to totally reshape beauty. Like, 2025 is going to be...
It's going to be wild, yeah.
Major.
You actually picked out a really good piece from McKinsey for us to look at.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
It's called How Beauty Players Can Scale Gen AI in 2025, and it's from their consumer packaged goods practice. It came out in January of this year, and honestly, it's a must-read. Like, it brings together so many experts, from the whole beauty world.
It does.
Really think of this deep dive as, like, your cheat sheet to understanding where the real opportunities are.
Absolutely. So our mission, right, we are laser focused here. We want to pull out, like, the most important stuff from this McKinsey piece about how beauty brands and retailers, too, are actually scaling generative AI.
Scaling it.
Not just messing around with it, but, like, making it a core part of their strategy.
Exactly.
And, we're going to zero in on which uses of AI are going to have the most impact and what that means for you, for anyone trying to understand where the beauty market is going.
Yep. Completely agree.
Okay, so let's get into it. This article, it starts off with a number that's just like,
oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's about the economic impact of all that.
It's massive. The authors are saying that Gen AI could add something like $9 billion to $10 billion to the global economy. And get this, that's just from its effect on the beauty industry.
Wow.
That is huge. And for anyone listening, like, you need to understand this is not a small change. This is a total shift in how this whole industry works. And that means big opportunities for some, but also potential wipeout if you don't adapt fast enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not like every company is going to win just because AI is here.
Yeah.
Right? The article kind of hints that there's going to be a separation, like the companies who really get it.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be a divide for sure.
And those who don't.
The ones who figure out how to scale Gen AI, like across all their operations, those are the ones who are going to get so much faster and more responsive to what people want. And if you think bigger picture, right, if a company hesitates or they just can't make AI work for them, well, they're going to get left behind.
Yeah.
And that means losing market share to the companies who are more, I guess, agile.
Exactly. So it's not enough to just, like, dabble in AI. You've got to go all in.
You have to commit, yeah.
And the article makes it really clear.
Yep.
You have to focus, pick your uses, and customize the tech.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's break down where this article sees the biggest potential. They lay out 4 key uses of Gen AI that are super relevant for the beauty industry. And it's interesting because they say while a lot of general AI stuff applies, these 4 are the most important because beauty needs to be so fast.
Oh, speed is key.
And so in tune with what customers want.
Totally.
So the first one, hyper-personalized targeting. So this sounds like personalized marketing, but like on steroids.
Right, yeah. The way things are now, most beauty companies, they can only target pretty broad groups of people. They can't do true, like, one-on-one personalization.
Right.
But what Gen AI does is it makes that possible. It actually lets you create messages that feel like they were written just for that person. And the authors of this piece, they think this could lead to a huge jump in conversion rates, like up to 40%.
50%.
That's massive.
That is wild. Okay, so break it down. How does it actually do that? How does AI pull off this hyper-personalization?
So it's a combo of different AI things working together. First, you've got the regular AI algorithms, right? And those are looking at tons of data. What people buy, what they look at online, demographics, all that. And that creates these microsegments, these really specific groups of customers.
Oh, okay.
Then the Gen AI platform comes in. And that platform has been trained on even more. All that customer data, the brand's voice, like how they talk, and all their product info.
Got it.
And get this, if a brand's thinking of going into a new market, they can feed the AI their product stuff and also like market research they've done, like customer surveys. So
Sure.
it really gets what that market wants.
That's smart.
Then the AI goes to work, it makes all these variations of marketing copy, different images, and it tests them out to see what works best for each tiny group of customers.
That's incredible. I mean, the example they give in the article, it really clicked for me.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Can you walk us through that?
Sure. So they show you a typical marketing message, right?
Yeah.
It's that generic one-size-fits-all thing.
Yeah.
And then they compare it to what Gen AI comes up with. And they imagine this customer, Camille, in France, who just bought sunscreen for their face.
Okay.
So the generic message is something like, exciting news, new products are here, take up to 20% off when you shop sale, like blah, blah, blah.
Right. Total snooze fest.
But then the Gen AI message, this is what it says. Bonjour, Camille. Did you know that our special cleansing foam for face sunscreen removal is now 20% off? It will pair perfectly with your recent face sunscreen purchase.
Okay, that's a game changer.
It's totally different.
It's so much better. It's like it knows her.
It knows what she bought, and it's giving her something that actually makes sense for her.
Exactly. And it's in French. Like, it's all about the detail.
It's the little things, yeah.
The takeaway here is that in the beauty world, generic marketing,
Yeah.
dead.
Gone.
You are going to be seeing ads that are for you.
Like tailored to you, yeah.
But the article brings up something really important, which is human oversight.
Yes, this is crucial.
You can't just let the AI run wild.
Oh, no.
So tell us, why is that human check so important?
Because even though Gen AI can write amazing targeted stuff, people still need to make sure it fits the brand, you know?
Right.
And that it doesn't say anything offensive or just weird.
Right, yeah.
Like, there's this example in the piece about how an AI, if no one's checking it, might say something like, "Good evening, lovely lady,"
Oh, gosh.
instead of just "bonjour."
Huge difference.
Subtle, but so important. Like, that could totally change how someone feels about a brand.
Totally. You don't want your AI ruining your reputation.
No way.
So it really needs to be this back and forth, right, between the AI and the people on the marketing team.
Yes.
With lots of feedback.
Constant feedback, yeah.
So the AI is learning.
Exactly. The team needs to be able to tell the AI, like, this works, this doesn't, maybe with ratings or comments, so the AI gets better over time.
Makes sense. And this isn't just about writing ads, right? The article talks about how all this needs to work with a brand's other systems.
It does, yeah. So for this whole hyper-personalization thing to work smoothly, brands need to connect their Gen AI to their digital asset management systems.
Okay.
That's where all their creative stuff lives, like images, videos, logos, all that.
Got it.
And it also needs to talk to their campaign management tools, the software they use to run those marketing campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
But here's something really cool. Gen AI can even do some of that boring work, like tagging and categorizing assets in the DAM.
Oh, nice.
So the marketing people have more time for the important stuff.
Automation is the best.
These are best, yeah.
And I think the article mentioned that some bigger beauty companies might actually build some of these AI features themselves, right?
It did. It said for those big players, investing in in-house hyper-personalization could be a good move.
Makes sense.
First, they'd have more control over their customer data, which is like gold for training these AI models.
Right.
And second, they'd be able to test and roll out personalized stuff much faster, which gives them an edge in this fast-paced industry.
Right. Speed is everything. Okay, let's move on to the next use case. Experiential product discovery. This one feels very personal to me. I mean, haven't we all had those moments where, like,
Online shopping is a struggle sometimes.
frustrating?
Yeah, the article brings up those first-gen chatbots, the ones that give you those super unhelpful answers.
Oh, the worst.
And honestly, the virtual try-on things,
Yeah, those are buggy.
glitchy, not accurate.
Baiting to returns, which
So expensive.
costly.
Especially for beauty products, because you can't always resell those, right?
Nope. Hygiene and all that. So enter Gen AI.
Okay, our hero.
These new chatbots, they're built on LLMs, large language models, which are basically trained on mountains of text.
Mm-hmm.
And because they've seen so much data, they're so much better at understanding you and answering your questions in a helpful way and giving you recommendations that actually fit you.
Okay, that's what we need. The article actually talks about this global lifestyle brand that saw their conversion rates go up by like 20% after they started using one of these Gen AI shopping assistants.
20%. Wow. Okay, what about the virtual try-ons? Those could be amazing if they actually worked, right?
Right. Imagine being able to see what makeup would look like on you, perfectly matched to your skin tone and everything.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Or trying out different
Oh,
hairstyles.
I love that.
And it gets even cooler.
Yeah.
Imagine seeing the long-term effects of, say, a dark spot serum,
Wow.
like simulated on your photo over time.
You'd be sold.
Right. It's so much more convincing.
Totally. And it's not just online, right? They talk about how this could change brick and mortar stores too.
They do. Think about those screens you see in stores. Right now, they're pretty basic.
Yeah.
But with Gen AI, they could get so much smarter.
Okay.
Like, imagine walking in, the app on your phone knows you're there, and the screen starts showing you stuff you actually care about based on your profile, your purchase history, all that. It's like a personal shopper, but digital.
Exactly. And since personalized content online is so effective,
Oh, yeah, it works.
it makes sense to bring it into the store too.
Totally. All right, use case number 3, rapid packaging concept development. This seems like it could really speed things up.
Oh, absolutely. Normally, coming up with a new look for a beauty product, that takes months.
Yeah.
It's back and forth between designers, writers, strategists, packaging experts, everybody.
Ugh, such a long process.
Gen AI won't replace those people, but it can definitely make things faster.
Okay, good.
So imagine you're a designer and you're working on this new nighttime moisturizer.
Okay.
You want packaging that shows off the good stuff in the formula, and you also want to emphasize that it's made with sustainable materials.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell all that to the AI, and boom, it gives you all these designs.
Nice.
And then the designer takes those, refines them, maybe gets feedback from customers through focus groups or surveys.
Why?
And even before they make physical samples, the ad people can use those designs in digital ads. Oh, that's a good idea.
To see what people respond to. And the article says this one beverage company used a similar AI setup and was able to cut their packaging development time by 60%.
60%. That's insane.
No.
Talk about efficiency.
It's amazing.
Okay, last but not least, use case number 4, innovative product development. This is where we're talking about the formulas themselves, right?
Right, the actual science behind it all.
Good stuff.
Traditionally, that whole process, creating a new formula, it's a long game.
Yeah.
Years of research, testing in labs, so much experimentation. Gen AI can make those first stages, which are the most time-consuming, much faster.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How so?
They train these AI models on tons of data, like the recipes for existing products, all info on raw materials, how things are manufactured, a company's own research data, patents, trial results.
It's drinking from a fire hose of information.
Seriously. And then scientists can use it to find promising ingredients, see how those ingredients might work together, and even get suggestions for, like, starter formulas to test. It's like having a super-powered research assistant.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Can you give us an example? Like, how would this work in real life?
Sure. So let's stick with our nighttime moisturizer. All right?
Okay.
And let's say the scientist wants to use neuropeptides.
Okay.
Those are big in anti-aging right now.
Hmm.
And they also want to make it like 10% cheaper to produce.
Okay.
So they put all that into the AI, and it analyzes its massive database and spits out a bunch of possible formulas.
Wow, that's so cool.
Right. But the article is very clear. You still need to test it in a lab.
Right.
Like, real-world testing is still crucial
Absolutely.
to make sure ingredients work together, that the formula is stable, all of that. And then you still need all the safety testing and consumer testing,
Right.
clinical trials, all of that. But what AI does is it shrinks that first R&D phase.
Right.
What used to take weeks or months can now take days.
Wow.
And the article even suggests that you could save up to 5% on ingredients because the AI might find cheaper options.
This is truly mind-blowing. So let's say a beauty company is all in on AI.
Mm-hmm.
How do they actually bring it into their business?
Well, the article talks about this buy, borrow, or build framework,
Okay.
which is like the 3 basic strategies for adopting AI.
Got it.
They say that most beauty companies should probably not try to build their own custom large language models.
Okay.
That's the maker approach.
Yeah.
It's super complicated, needs a ton of money and special AI people. And honestly, most beauty companies should be focusing on, beauty stuff.
Right.
But the taker and shaper approaches, those are much more doable.
Okay. Let's break those down. What does a taker do?
So a taker uses those off-the-shelf AI solutions, the ones you can just buy from a vendor,
Okay.
and they use them pretty much as is without changing them much.
Makes sense.
This is usually the cheapest and fastest way to get started, so it's good for smaller brands, companies that mostly work with retailers, or those that don't have a lot of tech people or money to throw around.
Okay, that makes sense. But what should they be looking for when they're choosing a solution? Like, what are the red flags?
Well, the article says data privacy is huge.
Of course, yeah.
You want to know how the vendor is protecting your data if they're going to use it to train their AI models, and who owns what comes out of the AI.
All very important points.
And then how easy is it to plug this AI into your existing systems? Does it have APIs? Is it compatible with stuff like Google Analytics?
Yeah,
And they say it's super important to test it out on a small scale before you go all in.
right. Dip your toes in first.
Right.
Okay, what about Shaper? What do they do?
So a shaper also uses those third-party AI models, but then they train them on their own data.
Okay, so it's more customized.
Exactly. So this could be data on their brand voice, like how they want to sound,
Mm-hmm.
or customer demographics to make that hyper-personalization even better,
Right.
or even like clinical trial data for product development.
That's smart.
This approach works best for bigger brands or retailers who have tons of data and the resources to like hire people to do the customizing and make sure it integrates with everything.
Got it. And the article kind of suggests that the best way to go might be to do a little bit of both, right?
It does. It says that depending on what a company wants to do, what resources they have, and what they're using the AI for, they might use both taker and shaper strategies.
That makes sense. Mix and match.
Yeah. And it also talks about how important it is to use modular Gen AI components.
Okay.
So you can easily switch between providers if you need to.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And so you can scale up as you grow. But the big takeaway is this. Humans are still super important.
I'm glad they emphasize them.
Even with all this amazing AI automation,
Yeah.
you still need people, especially to manage the risks and to bring that creativity that AI just doesn't have.
Right. Like in marketing and design, human intuition is still king.
Completely agree.
Okay, so let's say a company has picked their approach. How do they actually put AI to work across their whole organization?
The article gives 4 key steps.
All right, lay them on us.
Step 1, get the leaders aligned.
Okay, top-down approach.
Everyone from the top needs to be on board with the vision, what they want to get out of AI, and the plan for how they're going to make it happen.
Right, a shared vision.
And that means they need to be really clear on what they're going to use AI for, like those high-value uses we talked about, the stuff that's going to make them more money, save them money, and make their customers happier.
The big wins.
Exactly. And it's got to be a team effort. Leaders from marketing, customer service, product development, everyone needs to figure out how much potential this has and work together on the plan.
Collaboration is key. All right, what's next?
Step 2, build up your capabilities.
Okay.
This means taking a hard look at your company, how it works, how you manage data and tech, and what skills your people have.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll probably need to form teams to look at all this and figure out where you're lacking.
Right, find the gaps.
And then training is super important.
Yeah, people need to know how to use this stuff.
Exactly. Give your employees the knowledge and skills they need to work with AI.
Awesome. Step 3.
Test, learn, refine, repeat.
Okay, so it's iterative.
It is. You've got to try things out in controlled environments and see what works.
Mm-hmm.
Like in marketing, you might do A/B testing on ads to see what gets the best results.
Right.
And you need feedback, both numbers like sales and also like gut checks. Does this feel right for our brand?
Yeah.
And all that feedback goes right back into the AI to make it better.
It's a constant learning loop.
Exactly. And then the 4th and final step is all about risk management,
Oh, that's a big one.
especially for beauty.
Yeah, beauty is so personal.
People have emotional connections to these products.
They do.
So you need a really strong plan to manage the risks. You've got to think about things like, can you understand what the AI is doing? Is it giving you reliable information? Is it secure? Is there bias in its recommendations? Are you infringing on anyone's intellectual property?
So many things to consider.
Right. And what about the risks of using a third-party tool? And then, of course, customer privacy is huge.
Absolutely.
The article is very strong on this point. Gen AI should help human teams.
It should not replace them.
Right. You always need that human touch.
This has been an incredible deep dive. It's amazing to see how this tech, which is all about data and algorithms, is going to have such a huge impact on something as personal and like human as beauty.
It is amazing, isn't it?
And the key takeaway is that the companies who get this right, who really think about strategy and integration,
They're the ones you're going to win.
they're going to have a massive advantage.
Oh, yeah.
So here's our final thought for you, our listeners.
Right.
Think about how fast generative AI is changing and how it's getting so good at giving people exactly what they want. What else in the beauty world do you think is going to be completely different in a few years? What haven't we even talked about yet?
That's a great question to think about.
It's definitely something to consider as you navigate this exciting and, let's be honest, kind of crazy world of beauty.
For sure.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.